My name is Eric Nsikiti. First, the headlines. Malawi records 2 suspects of Mpox virus as Health Minister calls for caution. 37 people admitted to Nzuzu Central Hospital on suspicion that they consumed contaminated sweet beer, and government wants to investigate the plane crash in Lake Malawi that killed 2 people. We have these plus many other stories. Please do stay with us. In our top story, the country has recorded 2 suspects of the Mpox virus who are both Blantyre residents. Health Minister Chiponda says one is a 31-year-old man isolated at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, while the other one is a 17-year-old boy being managed at home. Malawians to follow preventive measures such as washing hands frequently and refraining from physical contact. Karin Apollo reports.
Mpox is an infectious disease caused by the monkeypox virus, commonly abbreviated as MPXV. It can spread from person to person or occasionally from animals to people. Minister of Health Chiponda says the disease has no cure. Chiponda has therefore encouraged Malawians to follow preventive measures as the country has now recorded 2 suspected cases.
The 2 suspected patients, the first patient is already here at the Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. He had come for a different sickness, so he was admitted for something else, and in the process developed symptoms which now the doctors caring for the patient suspected that now this is totally different. So the patient is here, is in isolation at Queen's. The second patient is being managed at home. Is a young man, only that the parents also, suspected, they noticed the symptoms which we have talked about.
Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital Director Kelvin Mponda, however, says the 2 cases should not raise an alarm among Malawians. Mponda says the hospital is working hand in hand with the Malawi Welcome Liverpool Trust to confirm if the cases are Mpox or not.
When we say that Blantyre has reported a few suspects, that should not alarm people, but actually it should reassure people in Blantyre but also in Malawi that healthcare workers in Blantyre are vigilant and are spreading the message to the population that if you see signs that you suspect to be Mpox, please come forward to the hospital. And we want to encourage Malawians from wherever they are that to heed the minister's advice that if you are worried and you think you could have Mpox, you are feeling or you have lesions that could be Mpox, go to the hospital.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has started training health personnel on how to identify Mpox. The ministry is also scanning people at border posts and airports to ensure early detection and control. Officials are further asking Malawians to pay attention and report to signs and symptoms of Mpox, which are flu, fever, rash that form blisters, body aches, and enlarged lymph nodes. 13 African countries have already recorded 17,719 cases and 517 deaths.
Some civil society organizations have laughed off the move to recruit 4 lawyers at the Legal Aid Bureau. They describe this as having no impact, with the Bureau currently requiring about 100 lawyers. This comes as the Bureau has only 48 lawyers handling at least 25,000 cases across the country. Pempero Malimba has more in this report.
Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance Executive Director Victor Muhango said understaffing challenges at the Bureau impacts heavily on the less privileged. Muhango said the development also hinders inmates who face challenges to access legal representation. On his part, Human Rights Defenders Coalition Vice Chairperson Michael Kayatsa said the new recruitment will not make any difference at the Bureau.
Well, it's hard to see how the 4 additional lawyers are going to make any difference, because if you look at the workload that the Legal Aid Bureau has, it's too much. They need close to 100 lawyers, and currently there are 48, which means if 4 are brought on board, it will not make much difference. What it means also is that people will continue to struggle.
The Bureau's spokesperson John Namalenga Jr. described the recruitment drive as a process. He expressed hope that the Bureau will continue recruiting more staff if more funding permits. Last month, the Public Appointments Committee of Parliament Chairperson, Joyce Chituro, pledged the committee's support towards improving the working conditions of the Bureau's personnel and those from the Office of the Ombudsman and the Independent Complaints Commission, as they were facing similar understaffing and funding challenges.
Now, Minister of Local Government, Unity and Culture, Richard Chimundubanda, has warned politicians to stop interfering with the operations of the district councils. Chimundubanda made the call during the closing of the quarterly meeting of district councils in Blantyre. Thomas Kajeri has more in this report.
Banda says in the past, some councils have been finding challenges to work effectively due to some politicians who interfere in their operations. He says the government of Malawi is pumping a lot of resources to local and district councils, including the cities across the country, with an aim of improving service delivery and the welfare of people on the ground.
A lot of resources the district councils and local councils in particular. We have 35 councils, and that includes the city. The cities across, that's in Zuzu, Blantyre, Lilongwe and Zomwe. So together we are about 35, and that also puts Mchenza Town Council in that. The aim is we want to make sure that we improve service delivery, the welfare of our people on the ground. And in many cases, our DCs are doing a good job. But there are times when politics comes in, and then you find that politicians are trying to intervene and disturb our progress. And I was telling politicians who are present in this meeting that we must never interfere with the work of our professionals, our work of our staff at the councils, which will allow them to do their job professionally.
Reacting to Banda's sentiment, District Commissioner for Cholo, Hudson Kupanga, said the minister was on track, adding his sentiments will bring sanity in their operation.
What the minister said is really important, because as professionals, for me per se, I'm district commissioner for Cholo, I'm the government policy holder for Cholo. I should make sure that I work professionally, because if I entail to listen to politics, then I will not be discharging my duties as a government holder of the policy. I have to make sure that I refrain from listening to politicians, thereby making sure that I pass on the resolutions which are in conformity with the government regulations.
The meeting, which was also attended by Deputy Minister of Local Government, Unity and Culture, Owen Chomanika, attracted members of Parliament and various officials in the councils.
Now, Lilongwe City Council says is now finalizing issues of compensation to move the dump site from 6 miles to a new designated place. The council announced it needed 14 billion kwacha to relocate the dumping site, following calls from different stakeholders to have the site moved. Wezi Gausi has an update.
In an interview, the council's chief executive officer, MacLeod Kadammanja, says the council already found the land for the new dump site. He says the land is along the Lilongwe Salima Road. Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change chairperson Werani Chilenga says the dump site is a health hazard to the people. Maziko Matemba, a health expert, comments on the matter.
But also we observed when we visit that area that young people and other people, community members, are going to pick some of the waste in that area, which some of them can be hazardous to our health.
Recently, the committee ordered the Lilongwe City Council and the Malawi Environmental Protection Authority to close the Lilongwe dump site and enforce sanitation and hygiene in all markets.
Still in the news, Action Aid Malawi has donated 12 motorbikes valued at 156 million kwacha to ease transportation challenges for community-led monitoring assistance under the Community Engagement Project for COVID-19 Response Mechanism. Its executive director, Yandula Chipeta, says the project focuses on community-led monitoring on strengthening health systems and pandemic preparedness.
When we visited the hospital on Wednesday, medical staff were seen rapidly administering treatment, with nurses and clinicians moving between the main facility and a temporary tent set up for the emergency. Some patients, including women and children, were visibly weak, carrying.
In other news, about 37 people from Tom Kamanga village in the area of traditional authority in Twalo in Nzimba have been admitted to Nzuzu Central Hospital after consuming sweet beer suspected to have been contaminated. The hospital's public relations officer Arnold Kaira says the group includes 19 children, 14 women and 4 men. He adds there are fears the figure could continue growing. From Nzuzu, here is Sam Karimira.
When we visited the hospital on Wednesday, medical staff were seen rapidly administering treatment, with nurses and clinicians moving between the main facility and a temporary tent set up for the emergency. Some patients, including women and children, were visibly weak, carrying intravenous drips in their hands, while others, mostly children, cried inside the tent. Speaking in an interview, Kaila said the patients have alleged that they consumed sweet beer during a gathering in the village where they mourned a recent death. Later that night, many began experiencing symptoms including diarrhea and vomiting.
This is normally known as food poisoning, but the causative is not yet known. But for us as the hospital, we are suspecting infective cause, meaning there is an organism, meaning sanitation, maybe hygiene failed somewhere. So now samples have been collected and also sent to the laboratory to ensure that stool microscopy and also culture is done to isolate the microorganism that is responsible for the diarrhea.
The facility has then asked Nzimba North District Environmental Office to investigate the problem and work hand in hand with Nzuzu Central Hospital to contain the problem. Health Lights advocate Mazuko Matemba said this should be a wake-up call to the people to be vigilant when preparing communal food. Matemba urged the government to expedite the investigation and release a report to prevent similar incidents in the future. Meanwhile, Northern Region Police Public Relations Officer Maurice Chapola said they have launched an investigation on the matter and appropriate action will be taken once concluded. A similar incident occurred recently in Livingstonia, Rompi, where patients were treated at Livingstonia Synod's David Gordon Memorial Hospital.
When we come back, we'll bring you the latest on the plane crash on Lake Malawi in Nkhotakota district. Welcome back. Still in the news, the government says it will institute an investigation into the plane crash on Lake Malawi that killed 2 people in Nkhotakota district. Tourism Minister Vera Kantukule disclosed this after visiting the accident site on Wednesday. From Nkhotakota, Innocent Chunga with the latest.
Kantukule says she has some information about the plane crash but cannot explain to the public now. Meanwhile, Director of Health Services for Nkhotakota District Hospital, Dr. Jacob Gafulafula, has identified the deceased as Fungai Jonathan, aged 50, who is a Zimbabwean, Francisco Western, aged 29, and Carol Tiremustra, aged 22, who are both from Netherlands. Gafulafula, as the survivor, is stable condition and receiving medical treatment at the hospital. Some sources say the pilot lost consciousness during the flight, prompting Francisco to direct the plane to the Lake Malawi for landing. On 10th June this year, the country also lost former Vice President Dr. Saulos Chilima and 8 others in a plane crash at Chikangawa in Mzimba district.
The Catholic Relief Services has launched 2 technical entrepreneurial vocational and education training incubation hubs at Lilongwe, Salima and Namitete technical colleges. This is a project that is being implemented for 1 year starting from October 2023 and ending in September 2024 and targets 50 students in the first cohort. Taunga Sabola explains.
Speaking during the launch of the TVET Innovation Hubs in Lilongwe on Wednesday, Catholic Relief Services Lead Integration Officer Crispin Magombo said the initiative is crucial in promoting innovation among the youth.
So we have started with 50 graduates at CRS on this incubation hub. 25 of them are coming from Lilongwe Technical School and 25 are coming from Namitete. these are the seed that we are starting with. And what we are hoping to do is that they have been trained enough so that they can go out and address the industry needs.
Tiveta Regional Service Center Manager for the center, Joseph Sambaya, said the innovation centers are critical in making sure that the youth venture into entrepreneurship.
For the youth that are graduating for technical colleges, the authority has partnered with the NIF, the National Economic Empowerment Fund, and the FDH Bank, so that those that intend to go into self-employment or entrepreneurship can access a loan from these two institutions to allow them invest in their businesses and move forward.
During the launch, some of the students taking part in the training were awarded with various prizes. One of the winners, Elizabeth Terega, who is managing director for Martin's Poultry Farm, said she will use part of the award to boost her business.
2 million will really help us to boost our business, because we are suggesting to use the 60% in our stock and also 20% to use it training young women and the cooperatives in how they can raise domesticated birds and also how they can produce quality and affordable in organic fertilizer.
The first cohort of the TVET incubation hubs saw 50 students taking part in the training.
On the business front, TNM Mpamba has given 3.5 million kwacha to the Bankers Association of Malawi in support of their annual conference, which will run from 22 to 24 August starting Kopola in Mangochi. Products manager for TNM Mpamba, Moses Dosi Jr., says the Bankers Association of Malawi has helped to champion economic transformation in the country. Chimwemwe Misomali reports.
The theme for this year's Bankers Association of Malawi annual conference is Financial Inclusion and Sustainable Development for All. TNM Mpamba Products Manager Moses Dosi Jr. says the company supports the idea of innovations in the financial sector to ensure Malawi goes beyond the stage it is at in terms of financial inclusion.
We believe that the economic growth of this Malawi also depends on the Malawians. So as a premium brand, we would want to sponsor BAM, because there are a lot that BAM is also doing in the industry. The financial inclusion requires every one of us, and TNM Mpamba is also one of those.
In her remarks, Bankers Association of Malawi Chief Executive Officer Linus Ngungula expressed gratitude towards the support by TNM. Ngungula says the conference will help them come up with resolutions that will assist people to save and invest their money so that they can transform themselves economically.
This is going to help a lot, because from the conference we are going to come up with some resolutions that will take to different stakeholders. And looking at the theme, we are talking about financial inclusion and economic sustainability to all. So you cannot talk about financial inclusion without talking about socio-economic development of the country. We are looking at the people that are going to save their money, but also to invest so that they can transform themselves economically.
TNM continues to believe that thriving industries are the cornerstone of progress. It believes that through various partnerships, such as the one they have with BAM, different players in the financial sector can strengthen their ties and inspire progress.
And that's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines again. Malawi records 2 suspects of Mpox virus as Health Minister calls for caution. 37 people admitted to Nzuzu Central Hospital on suspicion that they consumed contaminated sweet beer. And in other news, government wants to investigate the plane crash in Lake Malawi that killed 2 people. You've been with me, Eric Nsikiti, but remember you can get more on these and other stories by visiting www.times.mw, liking and following our Facebook page, Times 360 Malawi. On X, we're at Times 360 Malawi, and you can subscribe to 1895 by dialing star 1895 hash. Good evening.
Sam Banda Jr. with the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, the 22nd of August 2024. Expect windy, occasional dust and partly cloudy conditions due to the influence of fairly moist easterly air mass. Warning, strong weather winds with the speed of up to 4 kilometers per hour are expected to blow on Lake Malawi and Lake Chirwa from tomorrow night, 22nd August 2024. The weather winds are likely to cause high water waves of about 2 meters. As such, all lake users are advised to take all the necessary precautionary measures during this time to avoid loss of life and property. Valley, expect windy, partly cloudy and mild conditions tonight and during morning. Expect windy, partly cloudy and hot conditions in the afternoon. Southern Highlands, expect windy, partly cloudy and cold conditions tonight during morning. Partly cloudy and mild conditions in the afternoon. Central areas, expect windy, partly cloudy and cold conditions tonight and during morning. Windy, partly cloudy and dusty conditions in the afternoon. Lakeshore areas, expect windy and partly cloudy conditions tonight and during morning, with isolated drizzle in Nkhani Bay. Windy, partly cloudy and hot in the afternoon. Northern areas, expect windy and cloudy conditions tonight and during morning. Windy, partly cloudy and mild conditions during the afternoon. Forecast temperatures: Ngabu minimum 20 degrees Celsius and maximum 33 degrees Celsius. Blantyre minimum 13 degrees Celsius and maximum 27 degrees Celsius. Lilongwe minimum 12 degrees Celsius and maximum 27 degrees Celsius. Mangochi minimum 18 degrees Celsius and maximum 30 degrees Celsius. Mzuzu minimum 12 degrees Celsius and maximum 23 degrees Celsius. Winds light to moderate easterlies. Forecast Friday windy and cloudy with isolated rain drizzle. Times for sunrise and sunset for tomorrow: Mzuzu sunrise 5 minutes to 6 and sunset 20 minutes to 6. Lilongwe sunrise 3 minutes to 6 and sunset 21 minutes to 6. That's the weather forecast. My name is Sam Banda Jr., wishing you the very best of the night.
As a child growing up, I always remember starting each day with the trusted sweetness of Ilovo sugar. The beautiful smell of zitumboa and sweet tea brought a big smile on my father's face. Mother was always there, smiling while